Best mail. Yep, like a snail. But hey, look it. Probably the last one to get one of these stickers, but I finally got it. Thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate it. And the note. Yeah, you got good content. I like watching it. I've been slacking a little because I think YouTube hasn't been telling me you put stuff up. I've seen a couple that it's like, wait a minute, I haven't seen that one. I didn't know about it. So anyway, that's what came in the mail yesterday. So I know everybody else got it like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it's been. Like I said, snail mail. We've had packages from back east that were supposed to be second day take 3 or 4 weeks. Gotta love it. Anyway, I'm gonna go look for an alternator. I got a feeling I'm gonna end up at Napa because I found it online for a very similar price to everywhere else, and it's 15 miles away. Okay, I looked for an appropriate place to put the sticker from Outkast Farms. Now, I mean, we got some from the same general area of the country. Thought about right there, and I actually wiped that spot off, and I thought, wait a minute, there's a more appropriate place. What do you think, Jennifer? Or Jen, whichever you prefer to be called. You signed your note, Jen. How about right there? Underneath no farms, no farm girls. I think that kind of makes it appropriate. Thank you very much for the sticker. Most of the time we got to change stuff on alternators. That pulley is not your standard stamped, 2 3/4 inch or whatever pulley. It's a 3 1/8 inch solid. It's original to the machine. Anybody ever played with one of these? Spacer, fan. Oops, pull my head out of my ass. Then the pulley, then the nut. They're nice enough to give you an Allen head there if all you got is an end wrench, but all you gotta do is hold this like that hard, hit it with an impact, and they spin right off.
And actually, it wasn't that hard to hold it either.
Usually isn't too hard to hold it. But what I wanted to get to is, see if you can hear this over the furnace that just kicked on. Doesn't that sound good? Yeah. Oop. So I drop it, throw it on the floor. That's the dirt she got off of it. Then I took it and blew it out. Napa has it for basically the same price I can get anywhere online. Only thing is, for some reason, and parts guy I usually deal with now, he says, I don't know why, but there's a core on it. So that just means we take it apart here, that far. We'll take the little impact with us, and when we're there, we'll switch so don't have to go back. Just do it right there. They're good with that. Even if I gotta walk out the door and walk back in with it. So, anyway, that's the plan. And we're gonna go do it here in a few. Plan was, we took the earthquake with us. Plan was to rattle that nut off and change the parts there and just leave those on the old one there. Yeah, I couldn't hold this, even with a jacket wrapped around there, because that nut was Loctited on. It's like, really? So what do you do when you do that? You grab the shorty, since that's the one that's actually in the toolbox, the long ones are hanging over, over in that corner. Put the Allen wrench in the vise. Hold the alternator on there nice and snug so you know you're in good, since they put way too much lead in those. And yeah, where'd it go? You take the little be good stick that's always close to the vise and you break it loose. Obviously I still need the Allen wrench to finish taking it off, but you notice a slight discrepancy in pulley size. You know, that pulley might be better on here, spinner faster, but my belt won't work at all with that short pulley. And that's the original pulley to the machine. So I'm going to finish swapping them. Time to laugh. Got them switched. That's the old one in the box. This is a new one. The spacer that came on the new one behind the fin was just a touch thinner. So I switched everything. But the funny thing is, I put the fan and the pulley and nut back on this one. I didn't rattle it very hard. That's what fell out. That's after cleaning the whole thing up. So you can imagine what the inside still looks like. Because where it sits really is right there. It doesn't get much airflow. Any fuel, I mean, we don't spill, but when you're going uphill in a full tank, it dribbles a little. That's why it's... So anytime you fill it up and you do something, it gets sucked over there. Doesn't go through the radiator, but it goes right through there and right into the alternator. Not that it gets much, but it's enough to help stick all that dust in there. Yeah, one of the better things. But not like there's any place else to put the alternator. Such a nice day. At least the fog finally lifted a little bit. Number one down there kind of holding her guts. She's been hurting since last night. She got her gas bubble somewhere. So she ain't moving real good today. Told her she should stand on her hands and jump up and down, see if it'll work its way out. She kind of told me where to go. I feel for her. I've had it before. I've had it where I couldn't breathe because the sucker was up underneath my diaphragm. Not fun. It'll work its way out. She'll feel better. Oh, and look, she had to go get the mail. And I showed you the alternator earlier. I think I said something about maybe reclocking. I mean, it's been years since I reclocked one. So what did I do? I looked for a video that showed it. I watched 3 of them, and all 3 of them I watched to begin with. They said take the pulley off. But then they were trying to pull the back half of the housing up where you can lose the brushes. He ended up taking the back housing all the way off and pinning the brushes back and putting it back together. Then I saw one. He took the pulley off too. He set the pulley down, got the fan and the spacer off. We'll get the spacer out of the way. Set the pulley back down just to use it as a stand to hold that. Knock the front cover loose and turn it instead. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Sure look like a lot easier way, and you don't take a chance of losing the brushes. Now it's clocked right. I figured it out. Make sure you keep the black piece with the back side. Take the 4 bolts out. And I already got everything back together, but with it just sitting there, there's no reason this can't drop down. It just slips the bearing a little. You got to pry here to pop it, but so you got to keep the black piece with that. Appeared to be what actually worked. When I stuck it back together, things were loose, as in the shaft had way too much end play. But once you suck her back up, put her together, that all goes away. Yeah, see if it'll keep from catching the... It's going to catch paper towel. Here you go. Nice and quiet. Obviously I didn't screw it up earlier and drop the frickin' brushes in, because otherwise it wouldn't turn very well. And if it did, it'd make hellacious noise and it wouldn't turn worth a damn. So now the fun part, getting it back on. By the way, there's just enough room to slip it in here. She's going the wrong way with the bolt, but I can just see where it's got to go.
Oh, dude, you want me to fucking bend down?
It's got to go. Point you in the right place. It's got to go there. I had to reclock it. You can see that where my finger is. Right there. There's a terminal on the back. It would have been into that big hydraulic line. It actually would have been into it. So kind of hard to deal with it when it's in the way of a hydraulic line, especially that big one, and it can't go anywhere else. And the fun part, all the new stuff, half of it having metric. It's still a 3/8 bolt in the base mount, but your adjuster is a metric 13 millimeter head. And on this one, the adjuster braces back to a water pump bolt, which is a 3/8, so 9/16 head. You gotta make sure it's tight. Kind of holds the water pump together. Still got more things to do, because we ended up cutting a wire to get the other one off because the plug wouldn't come out. And all that wire went to was a freaking idiot light. And the idiot light I'm not even going to worry about. I haven't seen that thing ever light up anyway. So, most of you know I already have actual temperature gauge in here. I got just enough room above the key and the start switch up there. I'm putting a voltmeter. I just haven't done it yet. I got to take that panel down so I can get into the hot wires at the key so we actually have it. So that's what I'm going to do next. Sometimes I don't know what to say. Becky just called me, said a friend of ours, retired farmer, he just put on Facebook that his wife passed. She'd been fighting some stuff for a while. Thought they had the upper hand on that. She gave one hell of a fight. It's been a long one. Of course, you know, the current world situation didn't help anything. I know that. I don't know the story. I haven't talked to him for at least 6 months, probably longer. And Messenger decides to tell me that I tried to send a message to somebody that doesn't exist. Yet, Becky just messaged him on Messenger. Go figure. And I tried looking him up on Facebook. I know he's there. It told me he's not there. So, anyway. Kind of a somber day. He was a good friend. And, yeah, him and his wife, they were a hell of a good couple. There it is. Get the gauge, it's in place. Jumped into a wire off the key, and I figured, you know, that one's at a good angle. This one might work out up there okay, which it does. It's all right. I can read it. Only thing is, that's only going to 10 volt. And I know that used to work. It was off the old sprayer. Even it's this thing's got to be running wide open and it'll go up to 12. So alternator's working, lights were bright. We're good there. I dropped that damn thing earlier, which may have bopped it off. I don't know. But it's done. It's in. Alternator's in. I got to go back down and help number one. Her being so sore, she hasn't quite finished getting those calves cleaned up after yet. She's been at it for at least an hour. So, it's the end of the day anyway. Thanks for watching. I know I didn't show a whole lot, but maybe somebody learned something, especially about clocking an alternator, right? And I don't even worry about the mess today. Screw it. It's good enough till tomorrow. By the way, Ron's here. He's bringing me another load of reject. Go back here where he dropped that one off the other day. He knows where he's going. I just got to make sure he doesn't drive over something. Now he's getting confused. He waved whether you saw him or not.